If you're looking for a strategy on how to eat healthy on a budget, you are in the right place. Let's dive into it. So one of the biggest issues that people run into when they start eating healthier is they find that their grocery bill increases by a pretty solid amount. And while there are times where it is important to make that investment, there's also times where you're kind of got to be a little more smart with how you eat healthy. Right? If you buy grapes every single week, grapes are super expensive. And while they may be tasty, they may be nutritious, if you're on a super tight budget, they may not be the best choice. So in this video, we're really going to dive into 3 strategies that I've used in the past to buy groceries on a budget. And then if you stick around to the end, I also have a 4th strategy that allowed me to save over $1,000 in groceries every single year. So back when I got into the business game, I was in the grind mode for the first few years, right? I wasn't seeing much success. I was putting a lot of effort, energy, time, money into my business. And I got to the point where my credit cards were basically maxed out and where I was going to the grocery store every week, basically hoping that my credit card wouldn't be declined. And so in that process, I had to challenge myself. I had to be very intelligent with how I invested in food, because it was either I was able to get the food that I needed for the week or I was going to go hungry. And so what I found was that when I was able to be very intentional with the types of food I got, I was actually able to spend less money in a lot of cases getting healthier groceries while still being able to eat as much as I wanted throughout the week. And so like I said, I've got 3 specific strategies and then a little bonus one for you. So without further ado, let's get into them. So strategy number 1 is super simple here. And if you are on a budget, if you are working on eating healthier, stop eating out. Right? Even if you're going out for fast food, your meal can rack up to over $10. If you're going out to a restaurant, it's going to be a lot more than that. And so if you're really working on eating healthier, the majority of your meals should be cooked. The majority of your meals should be bought at a grocery store, because when you're there, you can be very intelligent about what you're paying for. You don't have to tip. You don't have to add tax. I guess you do have to add tax on groceries. But besides that, right, like you don't have all these other expenses that come with going out to eat and eating at restaurants and fast food places. Like that stuff adds up. And so let's think about it. If we're spending $10 per meal, now all of a sudden if we go out to eat 4 times a week, that's $40 minimum. Whereas if you're really intelligent with how you shop, your grocery bill could be $50 a week if you're shopping for yourself, and potentially even less if you're really smart about it. So that's one of the first things I say, like when I speak with guys on the phone who are interested in my program and they say, I can't afford your program or I can't afford to eat healthier as an excuse, my first reaction is, I'm sorry, that's bull, right? Like let's look at how many times you're going out to eat. Let's look where your money is going towards food, and we pretty quickly see that, there's a lot of space in the budget if you start cooking more. So my first and most important recommendation here is if you're really trying to stick to eating healthy on a budget, stop eating out, right? No, I'm not saying forever, but I'm just saying cut out a lot. Like if you treat yourself once every 2 weeks, that's probably more reasonable than going out to eat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times every single week. So that's strategy number 1. And strategy number 2 is really just going to be when you are cooking and when you are shopping, stick to the basics, right? Like I've had times where I've gone to the grocery store and I've bought so many things that I just did not need. Sauces, powders, spices, add-ons, snacks, like all these things that, I'll consume when I'm hungry. I'll add it to make my food a little bit different. But when I look at it, probably don't necessarily need it, right? And so if we're sticking to the basics, I got 3 things that have really worked for me in the past. So number 1, I'll always go with frozen organic veggies, specifically Trader Joe's. But if you don't have a Trader Joe's, most grocery stores have them at a very affordable rate. If you get a bag of organic broccoli that's frozen, number 1, the frozen veggies actually contain more nutrients in them because when they're frozen, they're able to retain more. But number 2, they're actually going to be like $2 to $3 per bag. And if you're having about 2 servings per bag, now for every meal, it's basically only $1 that's going towards veggies every single time you eat, which is, in the grand scheme of things, not a lot. So that would be my number 1 recommendation, right? Stick to the very basic veggies, because if you're going out and you're going for all the sweet potatoes and the fresh organic broccoli and the organic green beans, your bill's probably going to rack up. But if you're going for those frozen veggies, which if you're smart, you can cook them to be very delicious, you can actually keep your bill pretty minimal. The second part of really sticking to the basics is just going with the discounted meat or the discounted tempeh. Now, tempeh is a really cheap source of protein that is also vegan and also healthy for you if it is organic. So that's something where you can get a bar of tempeh for like $3 at the grocery store, which for most people is about 2 meals. But if you're not going the vegan route or you don't want to eat tempeh with every meal, obviously go into the actual discount section of the store, right? There's always meats on sale, but not only that, but when a meat is 2, 3, 4 days from expiring, grocery stores will actually have a certain time of day where they'll go out and they'll put little discount stickers on their meat with coupons where you'll get $1 or $2 or $3 off. So if you really want to take this to the extreme and you're seriously committed about leveling up your health on a budget, is you can actually go to the store and just ask, like, hey, when do you guys come out and when do you guys put stickers on the meat? And most people will tell you. And so that's really an option there, because if you're going out and you're buying meat, that's the opportunity to save $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7 every single time that you're purchasing these bulk packages of meat. So don't just go for the expensive steak. Don't just go for the high priced chicken. Go for the ones that are discounted. Go for the ones that are on sale. Which leads me to part number 3 of keeping things simple, which is the more foods that you can buy in bulk, the better. Now, bulk beans and bulk rice are 2 huge recommendations of mine. You can get a can of organic healthy beans for $1 at Trader Joe's and probably anywhere between $1 to $2 anywhere else, which again, if you're having half a can for a meal, that's only $1 every single meal for your beans. Same thing with rice. Rather than buying those super small bags that you have to go out and restock every 2 weeks, why not just spend the $20 on the massive bag of rice that's going to last you 3 to 6 months? So those are my 3 strategies for keeping it simple, right? Frozen organic veggies, discounted meats or tempeh, as well as bulk rice and beans. And that leads me into strategy number 3 here, which is really making sure that you're buying as much as you can, and I'm talking about everything in bulk. Right? Whether you have a membership for a place like Costco or any other of these bulk stores, going in and finding things that are sold more is actually, yes, the price tag's up front a little bit higher, but in terms of the quantity and the price per unit, you're actually going to be saving money here and there. So if you can go to Costco, even if you get a membership for a year, there's a bunch of coupon codes out there to get you a discount, but you can go in and you can stock up on these bulk items that are going to allow you to actually save a lot of money. And use the freezer to your advantage so stuff doesn't go bad. Make sure that you're staying pretty consistent with what you're getting. But really, if you go with bulk and you're not just buying like the single package meats and the single package snacks, you can actually save a pretty hefty chunk of money in the long term. And so those are my 3 strategies, right? We've got to stop eating out. We've got sticking to the basics when it comes to cooking, not doing anything extravagant and just going simple every week. And then also buying in bulk when possible. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have a strategy that I've used to save over $1,000 on food every single year. And as simple as it sounds, that strategy is integrating fasting. Now, I talk a lot about fasting in our EMS Body Mastery program, which if you're interested in hearing more about that, check out the description of this video for a link. That's a free course. We're kind of going to give you the whole lowdown there. But not only is fasting going to be super healthy for you, but also you're cutting out food. Now, when you fast, you're not necessarily just completely eliminating that meal and keeping every single other piece of food throughout the day the same. You're probably going to offload and eat a little bit more through that period that you're actually eating. But when you really think about it, if you cut out that meal, you are eating less. And so even if you're only paying like $3 for your meal, you're still saving over $1,000 in the long term. And that brings up an awesome example. So if you check this picture out, this was actually really cool. One of our members in our Facebook group started putting away the money that he was spending on lunch into a Roth IRA account. And I don't know how long he was investing for. It looks like based on the date, I believe this was about a year. He saved over $1,000, saved almost $1,200 just from putting the money that he normally spent on lunch into a investment account. So think about it for a second, right? $3 per meal, which if we're being honest, you're probably spending a lot more than that per every meal that you have. But if you cut that out alone, that's massive savings, right? We don't have to be consistently stuffing our face every 2 hours. We don't have to be bulking up on tons of chicken, tons of beef, tons of protein. We can moderate this process that's going to help us build muscle and burn fat in a very healthy and steady way. So that's my little bonus trick for you. And again, if you're interested in learning more about how we use fasting and resistance training to help our clients, check out the link in the description of this video. But besides that, that's all I've got, guys. So again, if you're really working on a budget, you've got stopping eating out, sticking to the basics, buying in bulk, and utilizing fasting. So with that being said, I am very curious, how much money are you spending on groceries every single week? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know how many mouse you're feeding with that amount, because I'm very curious. I've been all over the place right now because I have a little bit more of a budget. It's probably spending around 150 a week for 2 mouse. And that's including, you know, supplements and restock and like everything else that we were going through, which, you know, we could definitely be smarter if we were more intentional about it. But it's at the point where we're able to spend a little bit more on that. And it's an investment that is enjoyable and we can have treats. But as you get started, as you're building your health, like taking it simple and using these tools to stick to a budget is one of the smartest things you can do, rather than what most people tend to do, which is just use the excuse, I can't afford to eat healthy, which at the end of the day, we know is bullshit. Because if you're committed to an outcome, you're going to be able to create that outcome. Even if it's a little more inconvenient, even if it's not as simple as you thought, it is possible. And people do it every single day. With that being said, I appreciate you. If you're looking for more awesome strategies of how to lose weight, make sure to subscribe to the channel and tap that bell icon. With that being said, as always, remember, eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.